Okay, so for the record, we're beginning now. My name is Jonathan Jones. I'll be your host and moderator. I'm Jonathan Jones. I'll be your host and moderator for this afternoon. You've been invited to hear a presentation that's sponsored by the Healthcare Support Association of America. The Healthcare Support Association of America is a not-for-profit organization that's just simply designed to disseminate information that anyone can access. You can find this information in public records on the internet. It's a little bit challenging to find it, but it is available. But our goal is to provide you with information that you can use in conjunction with your healthcare objectives, in support of what your doctor is recommending for you. I'm not a medical doctor and don't aspire to be one. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust, and always cross-reference anything that you're being told by anyone, especially someone that you don't know personally. But I can assure you that the information that we're providing you today has been carefully researched. If you'd like to have any of the references, just feel free to send an email. You can send it directly to me if you'd like, Jonathan at hcsAAA.com. Jonathan at hcsAAA.com, and I'll be happy to share with you whatever I have access to. None of the information we provided here that's being presented right now has been evaluated by the FDA. And it doesn't, and all the products that we discuss, any suggestions that I pass on, is not intended to be a substitute or replacement for a visit to your primary health care physician. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals you trust. Now, that having been said, I want to play a little brief video. It's about 3 minutes long, and it's entitled, "What is Cancer and What Causes Cancer?" And I believe that the, what is that association? One of those, the Cancer Association of America, I think they're the ones that presented this, and I thought it was very nice and very comprehensively done. So I'm going to share that with you first before we start my PowerPoint presentation. So let's see if this will work. Oh, hang on. I think I forgot to share audio. Let's do this again. Where did it go? Hang on. Okay, here we go. Zoom. Okay, now I found it again. Here we go.
One out of every 2 men and one out of every 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer. But despite those huge numbers, most individuals don't know what that really means.
At the simplest level, cancer or cancer cells are cells that have lost the ability to follow the normal control that the body exerts on all cells. In our body, we have billions and billions of cells, and they have different functions. It's a very complicated process under incredibly phenomenal control. And if something goes wrong and that control is lost, and particular cells escape the normal control mechanism,
You all right?
Yeah, you probably need to see about that TV. Bring it in. Yeah.
I may get back to that same recording for you a little bit later in our discussion, but it's a nice overview, and I'll incorporate some of the things that it says in the PowerPoint presentation. It was streaming off of YouTube, and sometimes when you're streaming it off of YouTube, it just doesn't work very well. So what I'll do is I'll download it first, and then come back with you guys on that one at a future date. So hang on a second. Okay, all right, so that's gone. So now let's just get into our discussion. And as I mentioned, I'll tell you some of the parts that that was in that video. I'll just try to relate a little bit of it as we go on in our discussion now. One of the things I appreciated about that video was, as it was about to start describing, is that cancer occurs when your DNA becomes deranged or mutated. So if something can do damage to the DNA of your cell, that's the brain of a single cell, not every cell in your body, all it takes is one. If it can do damage to the DNA of one cell in your body, that now becomes a cancer cell. And if that cell is allowed to multiply, it can become a tumor. Now, understand something, this kind of damage to cells is taking place all day long in your body. Everyone's body, this is happening. So we're all walking around with cancer cells, but the immune system just routinely handles it. But let's stick with this portion of it for a moment. Here's an illustration that was presented in Newsweek magazine. This goes back some years. And I cut it out and I scanned it and turned it into an image so that I would never lose it. Because papers you can lose. But it very well illustrates exactly the point that was being made in that recent documentary, that video that was being shown. Look off on the left side there. You see where it says number 1 is pointing to those little round balls. It's also an A. That's one path to growing a tumor. The A says oxidants brought by blood can harm DNA. That's the problem. An oxidant is the same as a free radical. So anytime you hear the words free radicals and oxidants, know that they're one in the same. Their objective is to do damage to different components in the cell. In this case, if it happens to do damage to the DNA of the cell, that now is a cancer cell or an abnormal cell. So the word cancer has come in our mind to mean a death sentence, but really cancer is only an abnormal cell. So I prefer to use the expression abnormal cells more than anything. Plus it gets away from anyone making an accusation that we're claiming that some nutritional supplement will cure cancer. So we're talking about stopping the progression of and the growth of and the formation of abnormal cells. Okay, so that's really what this discussion is all about. So if that abnormal cell multiplies, as you can see there in step number C, and is pointing to that big blob, that cancer cell becomes a tumor. And it all started with an oxidant or a free radical. Now, a little bit more on what exactly these oxidants and free radicals are. The easiest way to illustrate what a free radical is in this picture right here. We all know what a healthy tomato is, and you all know one that you would rather not eat. But very few of us are ever come in contact with the one that reaches that mush stage all the way to the right. But the progression of that is all precipitated by oxidative stress or free radical damage. That's all that is. Oxidative stress and free radical damage. Oxygen is very harmful, by the way. It eventually will erode anything. I mean, it'll destroy steel, right? But now let's talk about the cell. Right below that, you see what a normal cell looks like. But one that's been attacked by an oxidant or a free radical starts to become damaged. It's stealing electrons. It's all it's doing is stealing electrons from healthy cells until it is completely oxidizes. You ever see like those brown spots on the skin? They affectionately call them age spots. There's nothing affectionate about them. Those are oxidized lipids. Oxidized lipids also form in the brain, in case you're wondering what it is that causes dementia and Alzheimer's and other issues, mental issues. It's all because of this progression of free radical damage or oxidative stress. In this slide, you see the progression of a normal cell. Normal cells multiplies and it just forms healthy tissue. Very different from what's illustrated on the bottom half of the screen when it comes to abnormal cells. An abnormal cell, if it's been damaged, if it's genetically altered at the DNA level, and if it is allowed to multiply, it forms into a malignant tumor. All of this takes place because of oxidants and free radicals. Now, the question you're probably asking yourself now, well, then what are oxidants and where do oxidants come from? Where do these free radicals come from? Very simple. They come from everywhere. We breathe them in. This is an extreme example of it here, air pollution, but whether you can see it or not, the air is polluted. This is an extreme example of water pollution, but whether we can see it or not, the water is polluted. Even the bottled water we drink has components in it that shouldn't be there. Something as small as bisphenol A is in bottled water. The plastic that they use leaches bisphenol A. For years, baby bottles leached bisphenol A, BPA, leached into the contents of plastic bottles, especially if it's heated. If the temperature rises, the BPAs leach even more into the water. So how do they transport bottled water from one part of the country to the next? In trucks. Are they refrigerated trucks? Shake your head like that and say, no, they're not refrigerated trucks. So they're going across Arizona, in the middle of the hottest parts of the country in these trucks and in warehouses that are often not refrigerated. We're talking leaching BPAs, and that's just one of many known carcinogens that can leach into the water. If you say to yourself, well, I don't drink bottled water, I drink tap water, that's a whole nother discussion. They did a study and found in most major cities all around the United States, there were several known carcinogens in the water that leaches right into our water supply. So we're talking about oxidants and free radicals coming from places that should be no risk to us at all, including the food that we eat. And again, that's a whole nother discussion. How do you stop an oxidant? With an antioxidant. You offset oxidants with an antioxidant. There's all kinds of antioxidants, and most of it should be coming from our food. Unfortunately, the food that we eat is pretty much dead by the time we get to it. If you can get to food that is freshly picked and you can consume it within 30 minutes, you're getting almost 100% of the energy in that food. But by the time an hour or so goes by, it really does not have much nutritional value at all. And we're eating food that's grown out of season because it's grown in different parts of the world. And things are done to it, of course, to preserve it. And by the time it gets to us, it still resembles food, but it just does not have the same nutritional content. That's the reason why we need supplementation. That's why supplement business is such a huge industry. But the one thing that we really need to focus our attention on in a discussion that has to do with cancer and nutrition is the antioxidant that your body manufactures. The main one that your body manufactures is glutathione. There are other endogenous antioxidants, but this is the master antioxidant. The master antioxidant, glutathione, was discovered in the late 1800s, and now there's been decades of research done on this one glutathione and its relationship with many different serious health issues. Right on the FDA's website, I found this slide right on the FDA's official website. It was a list of glutathione depleting agents, and it's right in line with everything that we were just talking about moments ago. These are things that deplete glutathione in the body. Excuse me. Now, we were talking about oxidants and free radicals a moment ago. And the reason why this is a list of glutathione depleting agents is because as oxidants and free radicals enter into the body or develop in the body, it's glutathione that's one of the first things that goes along and sacrifices itself for the sake of neutralizing that oxidant or that free radical. I need to get some water. Excuse me. So when coming in contact with smoke, glutathione will arrest it, binds to it, passes it out the body as waste. See, remember I told you that a glutathione, an oxidant or free radical, is looking for an extra molecule. It's missing a second O thing. Glutathione comes along and adds that O molecule to it. So now you've got H2O. So adds an H, adds another H to it. So now you got two H's and one O, turns it into water, liquefies it, and passes it out of the body as waste. So that's what one of the things that glutathione will do. GSH. See, that's the chemical symbol for glutathione, GSH. So when it binds to a free radical, it supplies that H. Now there's an H, two H's and one O. That's the H2O that makes it into water. So, but all of these sources of free radicals can do serious damage to the body. Depleting glutathione lowers your glutathione levels, and the lower your glutathione levels are, the lower your ability is to fight something that can do damage to one of your DNAs in one of your cells. Acetaminophen, that's the active ingredient in Tylenol. The active ingredient in Tylenol. Now, Tylenol is supposed to be one of the safest form of painkillers, but it happens to deplete glutathione. In fact, glutathione and alcohol overdose is the #1 form of suicide and liver damage in this country, maybe worldwide. Person overdrinks, they go and get this massive headache, so they go take out acetaminophen. If they can get to the doctor or the hospital within 48 hours, they've got a chance of surviving. The doctor will, you say to the doctor that, well, I accidentally overdosed on alcohol and acetaminophen. The doctor will say, how long ago? If it was less than 72 hours, the doctor will say, good. And the reason is because there's a chance you'll survive. Guess what they go and give the person to survive an alcohol and acetaminophen overdose? Any guesses? Oh, some of you have heard this presentation before. They give them something called N-acetylcysteine. And you may be raising your hands right now. I just can't see it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead, comment, whoever that is. No? Change your mind? Okay. They give them a bag of N-acetylcysteine, IV N-acetylcysteine. They'll drip it into their arm or give them a shot of it. What N-acetylcysteine does is raise glutathione levels in the liver rapidly and detoxifies that liver. The person is going to throw up all over the place. I mean, they're going to barf violently because of the elevated glutathione levels. But what's also coming out is the massive amount of alcohol and the acetaminophen. So most people would prefer to barf than die, or throw up than to die. So that's a small price to pay. The doctor won't give the shot now. The doctor will send an intern or a nurse in there to do that. So, but either way, we're talking about the power of glutathione in that case. Okay, so that's all we're talking about here. Another thing that depletes glutathione is this XYV and UV radiation. Remember that. Remember that, because that connects to cancer in so many different ways. But the fact that the ozone has a big hole in it, we are being bombarded with more radiation than ever. And with the advent of a company named Apple and Samsung, we're being slammed with massive amounts of radiation. And then some brilliant person came up with 5G. You think we're being bombarded with radiation now? You think cancer is high now? The rate of cancer is about to explode, friends. It's about to explode because 5G is going to be deadly. It's going to be devastating. Children will be affected because they're already laying the foundation for putting 5G in schools all around the country. So this presentation may be more valuable to you and people that you care about than you realize. Xenobiotics is chemicals that come into the body from the outside. They've determined that people who are in the cleaning business, even just using household cleaning, breathing it in, absorbing it through the skin, those are sources of toxins and free radical damage and can cause cancer. There was a study done about 1.5 years ago of janitors using household cleaning supplies that their lungs look like smokers. I gave this presentation in Hollywood, Florida about a year ago, and there was a woman there. She said, my doctor just asked me if I was a smoker, and I couldn't understand why. She said, I've never smoked a day in my life, but I've been cleaning all my adult life. So she'd been breathing in those chemicals, and the damage that it's doing to her lungs was manifesting itself very clearly. You can't go to the store and buy glutathione to raise your glutathione levels. You want to eat the precursors to glutathione. That's the best way to raise your endogenous antioxidant. So there's 3 amino acids: glutamic acid, glycine, and cysteine. Those raise glutathione levels, lymphocytic glutathione levels. The one that we can't get the most, that's missing from our diet for the most part, is cysteine. That's the one that's all but missing from our diet. The glutamic acid and glycine, I think you can get that from potato chips. I'm using hyperbole intentionally there, so I'm not suggesting you go get potato chips. I'm just saying they're common. So, but cysteine is not quite so common. You get it in raw eggs, the cruciferous vegetables, broccoli. Watermelon is very high in glutathione and glutathione precursors. There's asparagus, quite a few foods that are, and avocado, very high in glutathione, by the way. But so there are some sources of it, but to get the amount that would be needed to raise glutathione levels to a considerable level, you'd have to eat massive amounts of it to do that. But anyways, that's a different discussion too. Just as far as validation is concerned, glutathione is very significant. It's been validated. PubMed, there's more than 156,000 articles in PubMed that discuss glutathione and its relationship with various diseases, serious diseases. I found one list in the physician's desk reference, and it had a list of what was referred to as glutathione deficient states associated with a product that elevated a cysteine donor product. And it had this list of glutathione deficient states in it. And number 1 on the list was cancer. So it's a known glutathione deficient condition. So think back to that slide that showed the progression of cancer from Newsweek magazine. It started with one oxidant or free radical. If it can do damage to one cell, and this could have happened as long as 20 years prior, cancer today could have begun as much as 20 years ago. So the key to being able to deal with cancer is to catch it as early as possible. If you can catch it at the free radical stage, then you really won. But here's an interesting picture. This shows a tumor cell as an antigen. So now any antigens that enter into the body, the immune system automatically goes on the attack. So what you see on the right is a killer T cell lymphocyte that's attacking this tumor. This is a cell that has become abnormal, and the immune system is going to war. It's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. Your immune system does this for you all day long, every day. Please keep that in mind. That's what your immune system is already doing. This is how your body right now fights cancer. So this quiz, we let this quiz stay in this presentation. How many cancer cells are in your body at any one point in time? Opinions vary, but some say as many as 1 million. But I like to quote Dr. Brian Clemens. He said we're all walking around with at least 200,000 cancer cells in our body at any one point in time. 200,000. But so that just tells you what your immune system is doing. And look at this illustration, just showing the immune system attacking cancer cells. Now, I put this slide in here so that you could kind of wrap your mind around it. This is your most powerful weapon against cancer, is your own immune system. You know why we can say it's the most powerful weapon? Even now, pharmaceutical companies all around the world are trying to monetize your immune system against cancer, because they know that more and more people are interested in invoking the power of their immune system to fight cancer. They have now coined an expression. They call it immunotherapy. So not chemotherapy, immunotherapy. Chemotherapy is still the number one way that they attack cancer, but now they're developing all kinds of immunotherapy. That's their way of monetizing the fight against cancer. My recommendation to you and to anyone else is you already own your immune system. You don't have to pay somebody for it. All you need to do is get your immune system in line. All you need to do is get your immune system working better in your behalf. Catch those free radicals at the border. Put your own little border wall up and stop them and take them out before they can do damage to your DNA. And for that, we can thank many scientists. But for the sake of this discussion, Dr. Kedar Prasad steps up and rises above many others in this respect, because Dr. Prasad has done a tremendous amount of research and provided us with a very simple way to deal with free radicals and oxidants at the border. His accolades are clear and unmatched. The world's first radiation biologist, PhD, the world's first. That's what he focuses attention on. As a boy, he was aware of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He said, I need to invent something that would help people to survive a nuclear blast. And so that's what he dedicated his life to, coming up with a way to make sure that the body did not disintegrate in a nuclear blast. That was what his mindset was as a boy. He succeeded in many respects. He's published more than 250 articles and authored more than 31 books. But I want to talk for just a second about the patents that the United States government funded in conjunction with Dr. Prasad. Look at the very first one up there. DNA protection and repair caused by, look all the way to the right, ionized low-dose radiation. That patent, if you examine that patent closely, you'll see how he describes the effect of antioxidants and his particular formula for repairing DNA and protecting DNA exposed to radiation. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out that if this man was able to come up with a formula that can do that, repair and protect DNA, and the government issued a patent for it, it has to be quite a significant discovery. One of the studies that's identified in that patent is they took two groups of laboratory mice and exposed them to high doses of ionized radiation. You know, the kind of radiation you get in lots of MRIs or X-rays or CAT scans. The one group of mice died from the exposure to the radiation, but the other group was given his formula. You know, in just a couple of hours, it showed a huge percentage of DNA repair, 80%, 50% DNA repair, I believe it said. Don't quote me on that one. I know it's being recorded, but don't quote me on that one. But a huge amount of percentage of DNA repair within just a day or two, 100% DNA repair with Dr. Prasad's formula. Now, I don't know about you. Everyone, well, I do know about you, because I think everybody on this call right now has a phone. Everyone has it. So we're all being exposed to radiation. All of us. We're all trying to grow cancer cells. The best nutrient you want to put in your body then is one that will repair your DNA if it's been damaged by radiation. Here's one of Dr. Prasad's books, Fighting Cancer with Vitamins and Antioxidants. He's written several of them. I have about 6 of them that Joanna found for me. We went searching for them on eBay or other places. You can buy them all brand new. I think this one. There's another one that's very expensive, a couple $100 it costs. But we just bought them used. So you don't have to buy the new one. Just go and find whatever you can find out there. But it's good to have the books. Very technical. Don't expect to sit down and read it like you're reading a novel now. So if that's what you're looking for, don't buy his books. They're very, very technical, very scientific. But Dr. Prasad documented his efforts. And now we have access to it. We don't have to go through all the trouble of trying to figure out which vitamins and minerals will correct our body's damage from free radicals, oxidants, radiation, or otherwise. We don't have to figure it out. It's already been put together for us. These are two of his formulas. The formula on the left, the green one, microdaily with CoQ10, that's the original formula. It used to be called MMF, Military Micronutrient Formula. Military Micronutrient Formula, MMF. That's what it used to be called. And now it's called microdaily with CoQ10. Now, just to be clear, every formula of microdaily has CoQ10 in it. So you're not sacrificing CoQ10 when you choose any of the other formulas, okay? So there's no sacrifice involved, but that's just what this one is referred to. I refer to it as the regular or the original microdaily. If there was no other microdaily, this is powerful. This is what all the patents are based on. This is what all the books were based on. This by itself is powerful in your war against free radicals and antioxidant by itself. So personally, I start with this one. This is the one I take 3 capsules of in the morning. I take 3 capsules of the plus at night because I happen to like CBD and think CBD is very, very beneficial. These are the ingredients. When you look at the ingredients, it just looks like a multivitamin. Not impressive at all. The only thing that makes this impressive is the man behind the formulation, and you'd have to really delve into it to know exactly why his specific formula is different than anything else. But know this, it includes alpha lipoic acid, which is an antioxidant, and N-acetylcysteine. Remember what cysteine is good for? It combines with glutamic acid and glycine, causing your body to manufacture glutathione. So that's one of the most important parts of this entire formula, is it stimulates the production of glutathione. It also has vitamin A, beta carotene, very good in protecting the skin and promoting healthy skin, strong immune system, and vision, good vision. So a lot of folks with eye problems have said that their vision improved tremendously when they've taken microdaily. And I'm only going to mention this one thing about this vitamin E succinate. I focus in on this a little bit because there's more than one type of vitamin E. It just so happens Dr. Prasad is the scientist that is credited with discovering that vitamin E succinate is cytotoxic against cancer cells, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So I don't know about you, but if you have to have a vitamin E in your body, you might as well have one that's cytotoxic to cancer cells. So this by itself attacks cancer cells, and it happens to cross the blood-brain barrier. Now, I asked Dr. Prasad one day, this is going back about 4 or 5 years. I said, Dr. Prasad, are you trying to tell me that that microdaily is a treatment for glioblastoma? He says, no. It will not cure glioblastoma. He said, not enough of the vitamin E succinate crosses the blood-brain barrier. He said, we can't get enough of it to go over into the brain area. So I heard him, and I accept that. I'm fine with that. I'm good. And that's the official scientific response to that question. But either way, this is the one I would put in my body if I'm dealing with any kind of issues related to cancer. You know what? I'm going to back up to that one page showing his book here for just 1 second. Okay, I want you to see something on the front of his book. Look down at the 3rd bullet. Well, look at the bullets, period, underneath the fruit, right? Maximizing the benefits of treatment programs, number 1. So he's saying in this book, if you choose the right vitamins and antioxidants, whatever treatment program you choose in fighting cancer, it makes it better. Number 2, he says minimizing side effects of chemotherapy and radiation. Side effects. So on the first bullet, he said it makes it better. Second bullet, he says it minimizes the side effects of the treatment. And the third thing it does, counteracting the effects of x-rays, mammograms, cell phones, and frequent flying, all massive sources of radiation. So I ask you again, which supplement should you be putting in your body? It just doesn't take rocket science, does it? But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about the Microdaily Plus with CBD. CBD is very simple. It's extracted from hemp, not from marijuana. CBD is an extract from cannabis, and there's more than one type of cannabis. Can we mute all lines, please? There's more than one type of cannabis. There's marijuana, and there's hemp. Marijuana is illegal still in this country unless it's medical marijuana. It's illegal. Hemp is legal in this country. This CBD has been extracted from hemp. Why do you care about CBD? There's been a ton of research on CBD. We're not even going to talk about it. We're not going to go into that too much, but I will tell you this. Every cell in your body has CBD receptors. Every cell in your body wants CBD. So it makes everything work better. I'll put it to you that way. So they've added it to the micro daily, and then they have two other boosters. There's the 750 milligram boost, and then there's the 1500 milligram boost. One of the main things that this does is great for pain, number one. And number two, it's great for anxiety and stress. And number three, is really good with seizures. And the list just goes on and on and on as to what it does. But those are just some of the benefits of it. So that's why I take the Micro Daily Plus before I go to sleep at night, because it'll make you sleep like a baby. And I take one or two of those 1500 milligram CBDs along with it. Puts me into a coma. I'm able to sleep pretty good then. But this is my favorite combination is these two. So personally, this is my favorite combination. I think these are the best two things that the company Engage Global has come up with. I don't think they're the only good things. I do think that the other formulas have their place, but this two combination right here, I think is the best. The one on the green one, the original costs $49.95, $49.99, one of those, $50. And the Micro Daily Plus, these are the wholesale prices I'm talking about, cost $100. So it's the combination of the Micro Daily along with the CBD. So excellent formula. The Micro Daily EMF is also extremely good. Don't get me wrong. Dr. Prasad decided to bump up the anti-radiation war and put more ingredients in that fight against exposure to cell phones, 5G especially, and low dose ionized radiation. So you can't go wrong with that. So the very simple thing, if you're here for the first time and you're wondering what you should do, which of the products you should get, you can decide which product you want to use. We'll be happy to try to help you decide. But I always say less is best. So if you start with the Micro Daily with CoQ10, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong with that. And again, if you add to that the Micro Daily Plus, you've got a winning combination. Go to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they'll tell you how to become a preferred customer. As a preferred customer, you get the same discount we get it for. So the prices I just discussed is the prices that we get it as distributors. That's the same price you'll get as a preferred customer. Okay, so we're going to pause here now and give you a chance to ask any questions. In fact, the first thing I'd like to do is just ask if anyone has used Micro Daily with good results, particularly with good results, say in a cancer setting. So let's just get that first. And if not with cancer setting, any other setting, we'll take your story first, and that'll be fine. And you can use the raise your hand feature if you want, or just Estelito, you've had an interesting story with Micro Daily and cancer. Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. This is the story that was already related before. One of our friends started to take the Micro Daily EMF. That comes in the red bottle. And she was a healthcare provider, or I mean frontliner. She's one of the nurses in a facility, and she's been complaining of a plantar fasciitis because she's been standing on her foot, like 12 hours, because she works like a 12-hour shift for 3 days in a week. So when she began taking the Micro Daily with DMF, after about taking it in a day, plantar fasciitis was gone, and she was very happy about that. And she says she's gonna continue taking the micro daily. And the husband is also now starting to take the
Hold on,
micro.
Escondido.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that condition first before you go on?
Oh, okay. Uh, a plantar fasciitis is a condition whereby the sole of the foot is there's like it's been being pricked by needles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's so painful. She cannot even stand that long if she have that plantar fasciitis.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so she got
so
results with
it
that.
was
That's
gone.
excellent. That's excellent to hear. Good, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And you said her husband also had an interesting story?
Well, she the husband is going to start to take the micro daily, the regular one with CoQ10. But Jonathan, I have a little question about it, if that's okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, the micro daily with CoQ10 can that also protect us from little low ionizing radiation?
Excellent question. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. They all can protect from the low dose ionized radiation because the microdaily with CoQ10, that's the original formula. So that's the original formula that Dr. Prasad developed called military micronutrient formula. And that's one of the main things he was targeting because he was looking for ways to protect the soldiers on the battlefield and their exposure to radiation. So the patent for radiation was based on that original formulation. The microdaily EMF is where Dr. Prasad added 4 more ingredients just to step it up a little bit. Now,
Okay.
there's some rare occasions where 1 or 2 individuals so far I found had an allergic reaction to 1 or 2 of the additional ingredients,
Hmm.
microdaily EMF.
Yeah.
So not everyone has that reaction to it, but it can happen. So um, I asked Dr. Prasad about it. He says, oh, if a person is allergic to one of the ingredients, he said, just take the regular one or one of the other formulas. He said, that's fine. He said, they'll still get great radiation and DNA repair benefits from the original formula. Thank
Yeah.
you for that question.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. That
You're quite welcome.
satisfies the,
One of my customers, she's not able to use a cell phone. She had trouble with, getting on the computer, the whole 9 yards, and so she has used. She just takes more. So she's been able to. Now she can do Zoom meetings without a problem, and she's just using the regular. But she takes more than just the regular 2 doses.
Ah, okay. So she increased her
Yeah.
her dose of the original formula and it protected her even more from the radiation. Very good. Yeah, that's
I
good.
think she does at least 3 doses a day. But the other, to go back to cancer, I think it was 2007 that I had spots on my thyroid. And so they removed half of my thyroid, and initially looking at it, the doctor said that, oh, it doesn't look like that there's cancer. But after they did the biopsy, uh, cancer was there, and it was just about to start. And so, fortunately for me, I discovered using a glutathione therapy in 2008, and the cancer has never returned. And so that's one of the reasons that I stay on a product that raises glutathione, because I do not want to get cancer. And in my mother's case, I did see it when she took the products that raised glutathione. It reduced her tumors. I had another customer that it was not cancerous, but she was going to have a surgery because she had tumors that enlarged her throat. So she was, fortunately for her, I was coming out of my ENT's office and she was going in. And so she was one of my customers from my store. So I said, well, what's going on? You know, you're okay? And she told me she was going to have a very invasive surgery where they removed the tumors and her mouth was going to be wired shut for a year.
Oh my goodness.
And again, fortunately, I had already given the doctor the clinical studies showing how that product would reduce and eliminate tumors. And so I said, well, you need to ask him, can you know, about that, you know, because you should be on this. And so the brilliant guy that he is, he's such a good doctor, he read it. And so he said, wow, if Alfreda has something natural that will help you reduce your tumors, he said, it's not cancerous. He said, you should do it. And he said, we're going to watch you for about 6 months, because he said these things take time. It's not overnight. And he said, at 6 months, we evaluate. If they're going down, you're going to stay on it. So she never had to have the surgery because it got rid of the tumors in her throat, and it even saved her life later because she took a cold medicine that stopped her heart for over 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Her heart was stopped. And she came back to tell me this story. And she said the doctors were like puzzled that the only continuing damage was that now she had to wear glasses. It damaged her eyes a little bit, but they were like puzzled because she's like, you're supposed to be dead or have brain damage or whatever. And she came back and told me this story, and I was like, wow. And it was from, I forget the medicine, but it was from a cold, over-the-counter cold medicine that she was allergic to, and it stopped her heart. She was out for over a half an hour. And so I know for a certainty that if her body hadn't been built up using, glutathione therapy, she wouldn't have survived that.
Yep, no doubt. No doubt. That's amazing. That shows you the power of elevating glutathione. So excellent. Thank you, Alfreda, for sharing that. Betty, you have a question or a story you'd like to share?
I have a question. Yes. How does this assist you for someone that has went through cancer and went through radiation? Can it help rebuild the body after radiation?
Yeah, we found that a lot of people have had that benefit where they're it rejuvenates the body. So if a person's gone through radiation and cancer treatment damages healthy cells. So Dr. Prasad's formula proved the research in the patent proved that the DNA is repaired in a certain amount of time taking the formula. So one of the best things that a person can do who's been through any kind of cancer therapy, be it chemotherapy or radiation, is to start putting this in their body to help their body now have the correct building blocks to repair itself from that. So that's a very good thing to do.
Okay, and one other question. Do you have any studies on this product being used after a person has went through a couple reoccurrences and some chemo and radiation? Do you have any studies afterwards of the product helping
No.
to build the immune system up?
No, we don't have any studies specifically with that situation. In fact, this particular product, the company itself, has not spent a lot of money doing research on and having a lot of clinical studies. Those patents that they have, those are 6, 7 different patents. That's it. They haven't gone through the process now of getting a bunch of clinical studies proving what it does or can't do. So all we can say is based on the research that has been done, based on what antioxidants do in the body, based on anecdotal testimonials, it's a very good chance that a person's body will rebuild itself. And they certainly won't lose with this. It'll help them.
Well,
All right.
I can say
Thank you.
You're
that
very welcome, Betty.
I'm a
Then,
living
Frida?
testimony. You know, because when you think about people that have cancer, and then we've heard Dr. Nkuzi talk about it. You know, they doctors may be able to get their cancer to what's called a livable level, where it's not detectable in the body. But then the person, because they're not coached on how to improve their immune system, maybe about 18 months or so, goes by and the cancer comes back. And then it comes back and kills the person. And so, you know, like I said with me, I had cancer, you know, in my thyroid. They did remove it. They told me that if you're going to get cancer, that's the best place to get it if you catch it early, because it's removable. But the thing is, in 2007, I was not doing things. I wasn't into health products at all, you know. And so since 2008, this is 12 years now, I've had no recurrence, no incidents, and I don't even have to take anything for the having half a thyroid. All my levels are normal. Whenever I've gone back to check, so I know for a certainty that, you know, using a product like this is going to protect me from cancer, because it's going to destroy it in the beginning. Soon as it starts, like he was telling us earlier, soon as that abnormal cell tries to make a step, my immune system is like, oh, no, you don't. And it crushes it, and it gets rid of it. So this is my, like, health insurance, you know, for me. I have regular health insurance, but this is better than that, because it's always better to prevent. I've worked, both Jonathan and I have worked with cancer patients in the past, and I saw my own mother. They gave her 6 months to live, and we found this product, and she outlived them by, it was another 2 years and 8 months. And I sincerely believe the only reason my mother passed was because her sisters convinced her to stop taking it in their ignorance. And you know, after talking with my mother, she realized that she had made the wrong decision at that point, you know. And but I didn't live. I lived. She lived in North Carolina, and I live in Ohio. I was not physically able to be there for her to make sure she got it. And my aunts, after a week of me proving to her off of her deathbed and her coming back to life, even the nurses were like, I don't know what you're giving your mother, but you know, this is incredible. Like, because she was about to die, and she was incontinent, babbling, bedridden, you know. And I started to give her that product again. She started coming back. I stayed there 2 weeks and gave it to her. And it wasn't a week after I left that my aunts were like, well, we don't want to give her that. And I said, well, then you want her to die. And yeah, because you and I talked about it, and you know, Jonathan, and I just had to pray about it, and I had to let her go because I couldn't physically be there. You know, now after she died, I'm sure that they realized what they had done, because they have since tried to make up to me, and I've forgiven them. But this is the best protection that you can give yourself is a healthy immune system. That's the best. There's nothing else. There's no medicine, you know, or anything that you can have that will give you the best life physically than having a healthy immune system.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely. No question about it. Thank you, Alfreda, for adding to that. Jean, you have a question?
I don't have a question, but I just want to share my experience.
Okay.
I have fibromyalgia. I have osteoarthritis on both.
I guess I do have one last question. I'm sure the doctor recommends,
Hang on, Betty.
yeah, does he also
Um,
recommend making sure we get,
hang on
we
one
eat
second.
we eat well as some light exercise?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Prasad highly recommends that. We'll give 1 second, Gene. But that's highly recommended, Betty, is to make sure that you control your foods, because that's a whole discussion that we don't take up the time with on this call anymore. But we highly recommend organic and non-GMO as much as possible. And for those who can do so, to reduce the amount of meats, especially red meats that they consume, and stay away from farm-raised fish if you do have any at all, and be concerned about the content of the mercury. But we absolutely recommend improving lifestyle choices, and 30 minutes of exercise, walking at the very least per day is important. And by the way, one of the best forms of exercise you can do for your lymphatic system is a trampoline. So something, being on a trampoline for about 30 minutes a day, you have no idea what that will do for your overall lymphatic function. But thank you, Betty, for raising that additional question. I hope that helps. Okay, so all right, sorry about that, Jean, go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying before, I have fibromyalgia. I have osteoarthritis on both my knees, and I have a problem with my L4, L5 in my spine. So I am living in pain because I really refuse to take prescription medication. And Lito Jokosing introduced me to Micro Daily, so I started taking it for only 2 days. I just had like a surge of energy, which I haven't done before. And I started to clean the house and do other chores. And then I noticed that I can walk. I don't really need my cane anymore. So, and my spine, I mean, the pain is still there. And even the pain in both my legs and both my knees are still there, but they have been reduced significantly. So I could say that, the quality of life, my life now has been a change. It's been much better. And I've been taking Micro Daily. I also take Brain Boost for about a month now, and I really feel good. I really feel like a different person.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Jean. We appreciate hearing that. Send me an email when you can as a reminder for pain, because we have 2 other things that we can give you some recommendations on for pain. There's a brilliant scientist, naturopathic doctor, and biochemist in Pennsylvania that has developed a pain spray. And this stuff is amazing. It actually has the ability to regenerate the nerve, tendons, bone, and help things to grow a lot better. So send me an email and I'll get you some information about that little thing, okay?
Jonathan,
Yes, Alfreda.
this is Dolores.
Oh, yeah, Dolores. I'm sorry. I'm hearing Dolores and Alfreda's on the screen. Go ahead.
I was just calling because I wanted to say I just talked to a friend, and I called her because I was listening to about the cancer, and I know she's been taking Micro Daily. Now I want to make sure how long. She had stage 2 breast cancer, and for she says 7 or 8 years, this is what she's been. Well, as long as Micro Daily has been out, she's been taking it, and she's been maintaining just with the Micro Daily. She's not taking anything else, no treatments or anything, and she's doing well. She's in optimal health. She's working again, and she's feeling excellent. but she takes the hydro, and she take it in aggressive doses. So she's doing good.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We need to hear those additional stories like that. Pearlie Mae Johnson, you have a question or a story you'd like to share?
Yes, I do. I've recently been had surgery. I have cancer, rectal cancer. I went to my doctor this past couple weeks ago, and he told me I took the pills in to show him the micro daily that I'm taking, and he said to keep taking. He read the amount of everything on here, even zinc. He said, go ahead, take it. He's gonna see me in 4 months. They told me that I was supposed to be taking the radiation, but he said he see no need to start radiation. And in 4 months, he wants to go and check again. Well, I have surgery again. I see my other surgeon for my bladder on the 13th. For it's not a cancer or anything, but the other was cancer. And I'm tumor full. And like I said, right now, I've been taking this about a month or so or two. And so far they saying that the numbers are down and that I should continue to take this. And he said that if I have to take the bark off the tree, but take this one mainly. So I've been staying with it, and I'm getting short down, but I'm getting ready to order more. And like I said, I've told my daughter-in-law, who's just might be diagnosed with MS, and she's taking it now, and she's doing the double doses. I hope that she got on to hear this tonight. I don't know for sure, but anyway, she's supposed to keep doing it too, because their doctors was saying that, you know, if she could find something that's natural, this would be good for her. So she's on it now too. And my other daughter started taking it. She noticed the difference within a week of her memory coming back, the boost. She's taking that one and the micro daily. And so both of them are seeing results from taking this. And I also see the results. Like I said, I'm gonna continue with this because I have gone natural before, just couldn't afford it and stopped. But I had cancer, colon cancer 30 years ago. But I do know this does work. And so I'm gonna continue with.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing your story there, Pearlie Mae Johnson. We have two more questions that are trying to slip in here. Let's see, Rita, hold on one second, Rita. Samuel Walton had a question, but we'll come right back to you. Okay, Rita, 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
I have several issues in reference to haven't tried the medicine yet. I have sarcoidosis. I have degenerative disc disease. I've had full back operation, and there's constant pain. So how would the micro daily help with these situations?
Very good question. Sarcoidosis is autoimmune in nature. So your immune system is confused. What part of the body does your sarcoidosis manifest?
The skin, since it affects several parts of the body, heart, lungs, eyes, the brain. So
okay, so you've got it going systemically, just in a number of places then.
Yeah.
Because some people is isolated in just one or two areas, but yours is kind of getting out of control. There's a number of things that you can expect. You may have to go a little bit aggressive, just like Pearlie Mae Johnson did, but you've got to ramp up the level of glutathione in your body and lower the level of oxidants in your body. So I don't know what you did for work or what kind of toxins or toxic environment.
I worked in a chemical company, pipe fitter, operator, environmental specialist. So all phases of it.
So you were exposed to some high levels of toxicity.
Oh yeah, you couldn't get around it. Everything you touch, everything you breathe was chemically affected or altered. You had several chemicals that you breathe daily. Couldn't get away from it. MIBK.
Oh my goodness.
All kinds of things. So.
Oh my goodness. Well.
even the welding rods that was filled with chemicals or coated with chemicals.
Yeah.
So you breathe that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a miracle that you don't have worse than what you've got, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to say it, but it's a miracle you don't have even worse. But you've got to ramp up your levels of glutathione so that your body can detoxify at a higher level. The the one thing that you'll want to add to that is a formula that Dr. Nkuzi developed. It's called lymphatic flush, because there's probably toxins trapped all within your whole lymphatic system. And that's the reason why your sarcoidosis has manifested itself in so many different places. You probably have so many toxins inside your lymphatic system that now your immune system is attacking everywhere. And it's attacking, trying to solve the problem, it's trying to get to those toxins. So you need to give them a pathway out. So I would suggest that you just go on the regular product, the Micro Daily with CoQ10, but you might want to increase your dosage to something closer to 4 capsules 3 times a day, like with every meal. So 4 capsules 3 times a day, but you need lymphatic flush. You need to get lymphatic flush in your life. So just go to the website, lymphaticflush.com. And for anybody that's on the calls, by the way, we need to give you a coupon code, because the entire lymphatic product line, the therapeutic and the regular formula are BOGO now. So for the rest of the year, they're buy one, get one free. So Alfreda, we need a coupon code. What's the coupon code we can use for
I don't know. Let's see.
lymphaticflush.com, and we use a coupon code. I know, coupon code will be Micro Daily EMF. No, Micro Daily Plus, okay?
Okay.
Micro Daily Plus will be the coupon code. And with that, you get 50% off. So it'll be basically buy one, get one free
Okay. Okay, thank you.
on the lymphatic flush. And lymphatic flush, you need to stay on that for quite a while if you can, because you are your petri dish is what you are. You're a toxic waste dump right now, and you can thank your profession for giving you what you're walking around with right now. But you'll feel more energy right away.
Okay.
But it's going to take you a minute to clear all of this out of your system. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for inquiring and for sharing your story. James Greer. No. Let's go back. Rita was asking a question before. So Rita's iPad was. How come I don't see Rita anymore? Oh, there you are, Rita. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rita. Can we get you to unmute? We still can't hear you, Rita. Hold on.
I'm sorry. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, mostly we can hear
I
you.
was diagnosed with breast cancer 6 years ago. Okay. And I'm also being diagnosed with nodule in my throat. And I've been, what do you call it? Being tested with that, and they said that I might have go to a surgeon or something. And I'm been taking for so long Creon, which I had pancreatitis, and I have gastroparesis, and I've been dealing with that for almost 20 years, since 2001 that I have diagnosed with pancreatitis. That I've been taking medication for that. And also I'm taking medication for my gastroparesis and my breast cancer, I'm taking anastrozole, and that's what kind will I help me with take the micro CQ10? Will I help me?
No, it absolutely will help you, but you're likewise in the same situation. You may not be quite as toxic, but the medication that you're taking is creating a level of toxicity for you. So just be mindful of the side effects, because some of the things that you're taking sounds like they are to treat the side effects of certain medications. So just be aware of that. As your body starts to get healthier when you're on microdaily, because all microdaily is a nutrition. It's not a cure or treatment for any disease. But what microdaily will do is help your body get healthier. And as your body gets healthier, you will need less medication. And if you don't work with your doctor to reduce your medication, the side effects will start to get worse and worse. So be very careful in that transition. So you might want to start with 3 capsules twice a day, and make sure you drink plenty of water. And for everybody taking microdaily, please drink plenty of water. If you don't drink water, expect the worst part of your body to get worse, because the toxins are going to be looking to go someplace, and they always tend to go to the part of your body that's the weakest. So if you've got weak lungs, expect the toxins to go there. If you got weak ankles, expect the toxins to go there. Weak brains, expect the toxins to go there. So, but drink water, and you're giving them a pathway out, and exercise, just like I think it was Betty that raised that question. Try to walk at least 30 minutes a day if you can. But yes, Rita, that will help you. But you've got to drink water and make sure you're taking about 3 capsules twice a day, and gradually your condition should start to turn around. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. James Greer.
Yes. How you doing, brother?
Very good. You had a question.
Yes, I did. On a previous slide, you had all the products of Microdaily. You had a green bottle, a red bottle, a white bottle, and you had a purple one. What is the purple bottle for?
Very good question. That is Microdaily THFR. That's for a person who has a problem with MTHFR gene. Some people who have a MTHFR gene have difficulty metabolizing of the ingredients in Microdaily. I forget which the two are. But there's two of them that genetically they don't absorb. Now, majority of people who have it are from Canadian and European. So,
You're echoing.
Mute. So if you're not, okay, what's going on here? Oh, you didn't mute James. If you're not necessarily from European or Canadian descent, you're unlikely to need the Microdaily MTHFR. But it had to do with metabolizing a couple of the ingredients, and for some reason it escapes me right now which those 2 ingredients were that Dr. Prasad was targeting. Okay, but it does not apply to many dark and brown skinned people. So I hope that answers your question. We muted you, James, so you have to unmute to come back.
So should I be taking the purple bottle is the question?
No. Doesn't apply.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Maybe
you get the last word here, Mamie.
Thank you, Jonathan. Listen, I have 2 questions. Samuel is my brother. I placed an order for him for the Microdaily. I did the Microdaily EMF because that's the one I was taking. So that's the one that I got for him. But you said that he probably should be taking the green bottle, or the one that I ordered for him. Okay.
He won't go wrong. You won't go wrong with the EMF. So okay. The EMF won't hurt. The reason I was recommending the green bottle was just because it was less expensive, and I was recommending him for a higher dose. His situation is extremely toxic. So rather than spending the extra money for the additional benefits of EMF, go for the higher quantity of the regular. So
Because the regular one will have more capsules in it.
no, it's not more capsules, it's just less expensive.
Okay, well, that won't be an issue for him. Another question, what about the CBD? Would that be good for him?
Absolutely, because it's going to help with the pain, and it's going to help his body to detoxify. But
Okay.
his
Okay,
goal
because
is
that's
detox.
what I got for him. And then one more question, since I'm placing these order for him, I'm looking at the website with the lymphatic flush, and it has two different ones. It says the regular formula and then the therapeutic formula. Which one of these should he be taking?
90 days on therapeutics. So order at least 2 kits of the therapeutic. But Dr. Nakuzi wants a person to start with that because it does the heavy lifting, it does the pounding. And we can go through a whole discussion about the lymphatic system here. It will take us a half an hour to discuss how it works. But it takes all those toxins in different parts of the body and funnels them into the lymphatic system. And then once it gets to the lymphatic system, it helps to push it along. The only thing other than this that pushes the lymphatic system along is a lot of exercise. So if you're on a trampoline or you're walking a lot, then you get that. But otherwise, for people who are very sick, they're not getting quite that as much exercise as they should. This moves it along very, very nicely.
Okay, and you said that it's going to be buy one, get one free?
Correct.
Okay.
So let's say if you purchase 2 right now, you're going to receive 4.
Okay.
Even without the coupon code. Okay, so even without the coupon code, you'll receive 4. If you buy 2 now, you'll just get 4.
Okay, and if you buy 1, will you get 2?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, folks. So thank you all very much again for joining us. We're going to do part 2 of our discussion here on cancer next week. So we're going to delve in a little bit deeper into cancer. We're going to look at that portion of the video that we didn't get a chance to see today. So you can expect that. If you know anyone who could have benefited from today's discussion, remember, get to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, then you'll see it when it's published. Okay. Once it's uploaded, we'll have this recording there, and then you can share that recording with anyone. Share it on social media. Yes, share it on social media. Tell everybody about it that you think could have benefited from hearing this discussion. We're going to help a lot of people. Now, anytime they attach to any of my videos, it always says in there, get back to the person who shared this with you. Get back to the person who shared this with you. If they can't find that person, they can contact me, and then I'll do the work of trying to find out how they got the video. So I'll trace it down to make sure it gets back to you. So I need everybody to understand that this is all about helping you get the word out to people that you care about. And if you're in the business, then that way that they'll get a chance to make sure that they're connected to you. Okay. So for any who are interested, in about a minute or 2, we're going to transition to a discussion about the business opportunity associated with helping people. So stick around for a few minutes and we'll do that. But for everyone else, thank you once again for joining us. We certainly appreciate your being here. We know that there's so many other things that you could have done with your time on a Sunday afternoon, spending time with your family, but we applaud you for taking an hour, and looks like an hour and a half of your time out to focus in on something that could potentially change your life and the life of someone that you care about. And I don't say that lightly, and I'm not using hyperbole. I've seen it now over and over and over again, thousands of times, where people who have taken suggestions as simple as these things we're saying today, and their lives have changed. So we'll see you next week, every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Same link, same code will work every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Just come back here, bring a guest with you, and just tell them to come and stay for 15 minutes. Don't tell them they're going to be here for an hour and a half. Just tell them they'll be here for 15 minutes. And if they want to stay longer, they can stay longer. Okay? All right. Well, thank you folks very much again. And we'll start our business meeting in just a few moments.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
All right, sis. Talk with you later. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right. Love you.
Thank
Love
you.
you too.
Hey, Mamie.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good.